On the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens. And come and spend a day in the 757.
Hydro, the vapes and blunts I smoke. That's exactly what I need when I'm blowing on them trees.
What up, everybody? It's the after show, but later. It's Daniel. I'm here for another live episode, number 301, I believe, and I'm excited because I've had a really long weekend, and I feel like so much to do, and we have a few more hours in the weekend. Finally made a live Joey, Yobi Bryant. You know what? I feel like it's an honor when, okay, time for bed. Oh, Joey. I feel like it's an honor when somebody names you, right? And when Luis's dad named you Yobi Bryant, I felt like that meant he liked you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Yobi Bryant. Shout out to Luis and his dad and good people, just good people. Always nice to be surrounded by good people. So here we are, the after show, but later, episode number 301. Man, I have so many things to talk about. I mean, I don't think I've gone live since Jordan was in for Rich one day. Melody's friend asked if Covino was gay. So many good things we have to talk about. But you know what? First, let's go ahead and catch a little bit of Overpromised right here. Let's go ahead and watch some of this bad boy and see what they all have to talk about. Andrew, what's up, Andrew? Gotta I had lowered the Overpromised. Yeah. So Andrew's in the house, Yobi's in the house, your boy D's in the house. Let's go ahead and check out some Overpromised. And guys, as always, in the chat, let me know if there's anything from the past 2 weeks. I haven't been live in a minute. Let me know if there's anything that you guys want me to write down and get to. Leave it in the chat, and I won't have to write it down. Yeah, how about that? So let's check out a little bit of Overpromised with Covino and Rich. Oh yeah, also Covino and Rich have a brand new YouTube channel, FSR Covino and Rich, Fox Sports Radio Covino and Rich. So I don't know if that's where they're going to start putting all of the Overpromised and all that, but they go live every day for Fox Sports Radio. They might start streaming it from that channel. And yeah, so it is live, and Spot said it's okay to promote now. So you guys go check it out. New internet up to par, D. So far, I didn't want to say anything, Andrew, because I don't want to jinx it, but so far, so good. I'm loving it. Yeah, what is it? Burger King style or whatever? No. It's McDonald's. How did I get that wrong? Anyway, let's go ahead and check out a little bit of Overpromised.
But the question is, will he end up with more errors or home runs? He stands at 16. Both.
Good question. Good
Yeah,
question.
let's go Yankees. Anyway, trade deadline Thursday, some NFL and lots to get to here on the show. Perhaps you heard us filling in for Colin on the herd today. We'll be in on Friday. We fill in often, but normally Monday.
All right. So, question. Actually, right off the bat, we have Joey's asking, what's your opinion about visiting people when you go out of town? Do you need to update your homies, or are you too busy? Now, I'm glad you brought this up because they had varying opinions, right? Rich was like, if you don't visit your friend, you're not friends. Covino was like, I can go years without physically seeing a friend. They're still a friend of mine. And I feel, big surprise, I'm Team Covino. I'll give you this. I travel to Phoenix, Tucson, Vegas, LA, San Diego. Those are all pretty much my go-tos pretty often. Do I have friends in every one of those places? Yeah. Do I always see people in every one of those places? No. Am I less friends with them because I haven't seen them or whatever in a minute? I have a friend that lives in Phoenix, and it's 3 hours away, right? Nothing too crazy. He's a cop, right? Why? All right. In the edit, he has a job. He has 2 kids, right? Newborn baby, a couple of months old or whatever. Usually if I'm out of town, it's for a purpose, right? If I'm going to if I'm going to go see somebody, I can make time to go see them. I've done that where I'm like, hey, I'm going to go see Luis or I'm going to go see whoever. I'm actually making time to go see them. Now, if I'm out of town, it's usually for a purpose. So if I'm in Phoenix and my buddy has crazy hours, oh crap. You know what? I better do something before I forget. I don't know where my phone is, but if I don't grab my phone, my camera's going to go out. So you know what? I want to play Overpromised and I'll be back in a second.
Friday. We're on 2 to 4 on the West, 5 to 7 on the East, right here on Fox Sports Radio. Search Covino and Rich wherever you stream. Today, we're going to talk about the art of the dump. I mean, photo dump. Art of the photo dump.
The dumper.
Yeah. And Luca, he was highly insulted.
I would be if I was him.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. But we start off with Sophie Stunningham on her own podcast, Show Me Something. She went off on Caitlin Clark. If you missed it, and you probably did, take a listen.
It literally pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No.
All right, fuck that bitch. It's me now. Hey, so back to my thought. If I'm going out of town, it's usually for a purpose. And if I'm out of town, it's usually for a purpose, right? So I'm not... It sounds messed up, but I'm not if I'm in town, I know I have a day, I have to go to a pageant or do something. I'm not I don't think a lot of people have that luxury of just being like, oh, what the hell? If I can and I fit it into my schedule and I'm like, I'll hit up a homie. I think I hit up my friend. No, I didn't. I was about to text him. And then I realized I didn't have enough time and I was going to be cutting things too short. But anyway, friggin', I don't understand how Rich does it. I think it's cool that he does. I'm not hating on it. I just don't know very many people like that. I have good friends that I haven't seen in a minute. I have people that were more acquaintances a few years back that are more... I see them more often just because of our lives kind of interject, right? So I'll go to some of the feedback. I see if it was getting crazy with it. But so I don't think you're a bad friend or you're not friends or whatever. You know what? I think if you're talking regularly, you could still say that's one of your best friends. Even if you don't talk all that often. I talk to a couple of my friends that I live in pretty close proximity of a couple of times a month. But it's that friendship maintenance that we do where we're kind of like, hey, checking in. Hey, you still good? How's the baby doing? Cool. How, I ran into one of my best friends, was actually one of my groomsmen. And he actually brought up Luis and he was like, remember when my buddy Luis's dad has a heavy accent? And he was like, remember when we used to do an impression of Luis's dad? And slowly it turned into Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because one day Luis's dad was like, he was asking what we were going to do that night. And he's like, it morphed in from, hey, what are you doing? To when we were doing an impression of him, it morphed into, what are you doing? And I guess that was, what are you doing? It morphed into, that's, I guess, my Arnold Schwarzenegger. But for some reason, that's what it morphed into. Well, I ran into this friend. Man, we had a laugh about that. We were like, damn, yeah, remember that? Oh, man. Hugged his wife. You know, hey, where's the baby? How's the baby? Right? Boom. One of my best friends, he's like my little brother. You know, I've always said that. I've known him for damn near 25 years maybe now. And, you know, just awesome to see him like that. But that was just by, what is it? Is it serendipity? It's like a happy mistake or something we ran into on accident. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know all the words. I try to use them sometimes, even though I'm not real familiar with them. But yeah, I don't think you're a bad friend. I don't think you have to make time. And I don't think it's as black and white as, oh, you don't see them? You haven't seen this friend in years? Just like the Bernardo situation. There's obviously stuff going on. They couldn't live on more opposite ends of the country, LA and Florida. Because they haven't made an effort. Oh, it's been a decade since you've seen Bernardo. You guys, can you even still say you're friends? Yeah. Why not? Like, I don't get it. I don't get where this neediness to say, oh, well, we have to see each other. Like, I don't know. Let me look at see what you guys are talking about. I see some laughing and stuff and all that in the chat. So, Rich and Covino, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Can't believe I thought Luis was short. Shout out Joey. Andrew says, if I'm ever in Yuma, I'll stop by and see you. And see, that's the thing though, Andrew. If I was in your part of the woods, I would definitely make an effort to see you too, right? I've met you for a few days in my life. We had a good time. We got to hang out, all that. You're not somebody that, I guess, I want to say like maybe we take those friends that, you know, like our good friends, I guess. But you know what? I feel like you guys are better friends at this point because we talk every day, right? So I feel like you guys know more about what's going on with me and I know more about what's going on with you guys. But I don't consider my friends, we kind of take them for granted as like, oh, well, I'm going to see him. If Andrew's here, I'm like, Andrew lives freaking states away. You know, I'm not in his parts. He's not in my parts often. So if we do see each other, hey, that's dope, right? That would be super cool. But I don't think if Andrew was here for a reason and he didn't stop by or whatever, I wouldn't be like, oh, that dude's a jerk. Maybe he was here and he only had a couple of days. You know, if he did hit me up and, hey, you know what? I can't even grab a drink. I can't even grab a coffee. But hey, I'm going to pop in and say what's up or whatever. Hey, to your office. Hey, bro hug. Man, you look good, right? You know, keep it up, whatever. And you got to leave. That's cool too. Or even if you just cross their mind, right? Say I'm in Andrew's parts, right? And I'm coming through and I know, damn, there's just no way I'm going to be able to see Andrew. But you know what? I hit him up. I text him, hey, Andrew, you know, man, I'm in your parts. I really don't think I'm going to be able to get together, but just want to let you know, I'm thinking about you. No homo. And hope you're doing well, man. If I can, we can catch up. If not, I'll see you, next time. That's cool too. Why? Where? I don't understand. I think Rich is very blessed to have a life where he travels a lot for work and he travels a lot because he has the means to personally. Not everybody has the means to fly across the country as often as he does, right? So I just think his perspective is a little skewed. But it's not even about having the means to do it because there's different priorities and stuff. Like if people are back in their hometown, they might want to see family. They're not going to go, hey, I'm going to call up Christina and Darcy and Nicole and Matt. And they might be like, hey, I just want to see my parents. I only get to see them once every year. And, if you only get to see them once a year, how many times in your life are you going to be able to see them again? Maybe you want to use that time. Maybe that's more valuable to you than getting a sandwich with freaking the kid you used to call Loogie Boy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I'm ever Andrew's gonna. Andrew, he's gonna give you a tour, and it's amazing. Felt that I learned so much. You know what's funny? I gave Joey a tour of the town. You know, a little whatever. I didn't even take him into like the hood or nothing. I mean, if we would have had more time, I would have. But I did drive him by a high school. I don't even know if this is in the chat, but I remember I drove him by a high school, and I told him, hey, some girl killed herself there, you know, like 2 weeks ago or whatever. Hey, right here, a guy got hit on a motorcycle right here in front of my office and died. Hey, like, right, like this, that was the kind of stuff I was showing him. But let me see. Andrew said, or let me see who said, honestly, bro, I don't know how some Carls are able to meet up sometimes. I'm so busy and exhausted. That I would likely cancel for real. Busy and exhausted. Oops, damn autocorrect. Okay, sorry, I read it word for word. The only time I met you was at the CRC, and I still consider you a friend. I agree. I feel like I felt like we were friends before that. You know, I felt like it's very cool to see you in person and meet you and actually hear your voice, and it's cool because now when we're texting and stuff, or even in the chat, I can hear your voice. I can hear your voice, and that's cool to me. Because before, like I had told you guys before we went to the CRC, I was like, I think it's even more cool for me because you guys get to hear me and see my mannerisms, and you guys get to hear the sound of my voice, right? And a lot of you guys in the chat, I just know through, you know, chat and social media, whatever. Greg Jensen, that was a perfect example. I've only known him through messages and stuff where we've BS'd, and he's like, hey man, you know, I know he used to be a big listener of the show, and we would chat a lot. So to actually talk to him in person, that was so cool, man. And I consider him a buddy. You know what I'm saying? And let me see what else. Honestly, the only reason I would go to Yuma would be to go to visit you. Yeah. And a college friend. You know what? Me and your college friend, Andrew, we need to get together, take a selfie, and then send it to you and be like, hey man, you got to come. Andrew, go in December. It's hot in Yuma right now. It is. It's 7:21 p.m. It's only 103. It's not crazy, Joey. I actually texted Andrew the other day. I was going for a walk. So I dropped off my, what's up, Megan? I don't think you've ever joined a live. So I'm so happy to have you here. We're just talking right now about the weather, right? Interesting show. So I was going for a walk the other day. I took my daughter to dance, and I'm like, okay, she's going to be here for an hour. So might as well go for a walk. Instead of like the other parents sit there on TikTok or whatever for an hour. And to me, I just, I if I'm on TikTok, it's probably because I'm scrolling on the bowl. I'm doing the bowl scroll, but I can't sit there. I know I have things to do. I know my big butt is like, okay, I got to get moving. So drop my daughter off at dance. Boom. She goes in her class. Cool. I know she's good for the next hour. So I went for a walk. I'm about 10 minutes into my walk, and I'm like, damn, it's pretty hot, right? So I look at my watch, and it's 112. And I was like, oh, well, no wonder it's kind of hot. I'm glad I chugged like 2 waters before I went out, because I was like, okay, I might get hot, might get thirsty. Just want to make sure I'm a little hydrated. Chugged a couple of waters and went for my walk. It was 112. I think about an hour. No, not an hour. It was more than that because her class was over. From that class, I took her to cheer. And when we got off at cheer, it was 110. So it had gone down by 2 degrees. Yeah, but it was, so it's toasty today. It only got up to 108. So I could have gone for a walk earlier. Andrew, blah, 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 blah. Did you hear Rich diss a couple of his friends saying that Matt and Nicole are his favorites? Damn, I know some people got butthurt. Not crazy. I see Rich doing that. Definitely felt like we were friends, and before NCRC solidified it. You know, 100%. Andrew, it's crazy because especially with as interactive as you are, you know, you've always been very not. I mean, there's people that what do they say? Like only like a certain percentage of your listeners actually interact, and live interaction is even a smaller percentage. So Andrew, the fact that you interact as much as you do, it's so awesome, man. I love that. So by the time we met at the CRC, I was like, I feel like I've known this guy for years, right? Because I kind of have. Joey too. The first time I met Joey, I saw this fool, and it was so crazy because his daughter is about a year older than mine. And I remember when his daughter was a freaking toddler. And, my daughter just entered the 4th grade. So I'm like, it's so crazy. I met this dude in person, but we instant friends, right? Instant friends, real life friends. I'm gonna give a little story about Joey. This is how I felt comfortable with Joey. So he's like, we go, my buddy Luis is in town. So I'm like, hey, we're going to go bowling with him and his family, whatever. Joey's like, all right, cool. We get there. He orders himself a salad, right? We're all trying, you eat the salad so you can eat the donut later, right? You don't eat the papas right now. You eat the papas, tomorrow or whatever. So, you got to make those choices. So Joey trying to do, his part. We're at the bowling alley and he gets a salad. And this is when I knew, we met, hugged, bro hugs, whatever, cool. I thought, hey, you know what? We're homies, yeah, whatever. But when I really knew we were homies was when Joey got his salad and I felt comfortable enough to start making fun of him. I was like, what is that? That's barely even a salad. And then I started telling Luis stuff, and then Luis started making jokes to him, and then we were all cracking up, and then Joey was like, hey, you son of a whatever, right? And then we're all ha 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 ha. That was, you wouldn't do that with somebody, basically a blind date, right? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't be making fun. Oh, you got a salad, and look, is that even a salad? I don't even know what to call that. You wouldn't do that on a blind date or whatever, or just first time meeting a friend. So that's what I think. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. That's what I love about Covino and Rich. And, not to swing from their nuts, but that's what I love about, that's why I started the after show, but later, 300 episodes ago. That's why I started it in 2018 with Johnny. We had, we both listened, and we were like, we would talk about the show. That's what we would do. That was one of our bonding things. We would talk about the show, and we were like, man, how many people don't have this, but would like it? How many people can't sit there and BS about the show? The Carl page has done that. This has done that. And it's just so cool that we go somewhere like the CRC and we all feel like we're friends already. Joey comes to town. We feel like we're friends. Megan, I met Megan at the CRC. Seen so many pictures of her Carl's or her Covino and Rich hoodie. It's just so cool, man. It's just so like, I one of the first people I talked to at the CRC besides Bree and Wes's house was NW, right? It was Lisa and this girl, and I make my way over there. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna talk to him. I see Lisa. I want to sit there and chat. And then I'm talking, and I'm like, and I'm kind of thinking, who is this girl? Like, is she a friend of Lisa's? Is she a listener, whatever? And she goes, by the way, I'm NW. And I was like, NW is a girl? Like, oh, I just felt like I had no idea NW was a girl. But automatically, I saw in-show chat, little green bubble with the NW. That she was there in person. She was there. It was so cool, man. Megan, let me see. Finally caught you live before I have to go to bed. Thank you, Megan. If you have to dip, that's cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Welcome to the show, says Andrew. I always see the post. In fact, it's late in Florida. Yeah, it's freaking 7, 8, 9, 10:30. Damn, yeah, it is late over there. Daughter's in 4th grade. She starts 4th grade tomorrow. Megan, my daughter just started last week, and it's a great age. And you know what? Knowing that now, I feel like we have a closer bond. Daughter starts 5th grade Wednesday. Joey, yeah, I know your daughter's a year older than mine. It's crazy that she was a toddler, man. Joey says when we kicked it, it felt like a date. Andrew says we went to the CRC. We actually do hang from their nuts. I guess. I mean, we can sit here and try and act like we don't, but I guess we do. Used to post about the Carl show all the time. Met Ian like that. He saw my first post. I hung with Lisa and NW pretty much the whole time. I never had met them before, but we had the best time. I love them both. It's so cool because I think NW was sitting with you guys at the Cat's Meow. And it's just so cool, man, to see you guys, knowing that now that it was you guys all sitting there and you guys hadn't met before then. It was so, I mean, I felt even Lisa's husband, right? I was like, man, this dude is so cool. And it's so cool of him to not know anything. Like, obviously he knows of CNR, but he doesn't know CNR like we know CNR, right? It's like, yeah, it's just, I was going to make a bad example. Okay. It's like your high school, right? People may have heard, or your college. People may have heard of your college. Oh yeah, Syracuse, go Orange. But they weren't there. They weren't at the, they weren't dressing up with the big O on their chest and at the frat parties. They know of it, but they weren't there. That's Mike. Mike doesn't go to our college, right? He doesn't go to our college. We go to our college. We go to Covino and Rich University, CRU, right? We go to CRU. You may have heard of it, right? You may have heard, oh, those guys, the dude bros from CRU. Yeah, I know them, but you never lived it. I don't even know where we are. Thought NW was a vato, said Joey. Yeah, that's hilarious. You know what? But there was a couple of things I had here that I did want to get. They were okay. So they did tell a story about getting snubbed. There was it the dude Luke Combs said he wanted to go buy a Rolex one day, and they were like, oh, we don't have it in stock, blah blah blah, and he felt like they looked at him like, oh, you're this fat white dude and you probably, your house probably has a hitch. They probably looked at him like that. But you know what, I remember one day another Luis story. I'm gonna have to tell him to make sure he listens to this. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna actually text that fool right now. My bad. I've been live for a minute. Okay, just hit that fool up. One day, actually, so me and Luis, we were probably in high school or had just graduated high school, but it was around that time, right? I was, you know what? I was actually probably, I was heavier than I am now. I was probably a little bit heavier than I am now. But anyway, I think this was when before. So Luis was like a chubby dude and then got like bigger and then got really thin and never looked back. So yeah, okay. So there's Luis. I'm telling this story. Tell me if you remember this, Luis. So Covino and Rich told a story about Luke Combs going to buy a Rolex and he got snubbed and people were like, oh, looking at him like this fat dude with a hitch on his house, he can't buy no Rolex. So they told him they didn't have one. Well, I remember one day Luis and I were at American Eagle. American Eagle. What do they have? Like $20 polos? But we, with our black hats, we probably at the time had like a black Hurley shirt or something, right? Billabong or whatever, or no, what did we sport? Like Stars and Straps or whatever, and Famous and all that, whatever. We go in there and they start like kind of looking at us like we're gonna steal or something. And we were like, what I remember, I don't know if Luis even remembers this, but I remember being like, are these fools serious? Because we bought a $20 shirt at PacSun that says, Circa or whatever. We come over here and their $20 polo just has a collar on it. They're looking at us like we're fucking pieces of shit. So then went back. Okay, so Megan says, I worked at American Eagle very briefly, then went back to PacSun. So we're in freaking American Eagle, and then this freaking stupid little chick that worked there was like, if you guys need, we have bigger sizes in the back. And I remember I was like, bitch, I wear a 2X, the standard American fat guy shirt. I don't need to go to no specialty store, right? I don't need you to go in the back and find me a bigger shirt. You know, and then if I'm not mistaken, they even pointed us to like the clearance rack. They were like, and you know what? Besides the big sizes, all of those 70% off, right? And I remember being like, bitch, thank you for the information, because I would like a deal. But that's not the point. I knew what she was doing. You might be like, oh, well, you know what? As a customer, I've worked in retail. I understand they're probably trying to push, those and get them out the door, whatever. But that's not what they were doing that day. And I remember that. So that may not, quote unquote, have been the case, like in Luke Combs's example. People were like, oh, well, it's a Rolex. They're not just going to carry them like a Timex and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Luke Combs knows what happened that day, right? And maybe it was they didn't have it in stock or whatever the hell it was. But he knows how he came in and they looked at him and they were like, his house has a hitch. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I could find that real quick. There was a song. Oh, I wonder if I could connect this to the Bluetooth. Is it connected? There's a song that I made with AI. I found this song the other day. Roadcaster. Connect, buddy. I want to play this song for all the people. Come on, connect. There was a song because I said Luke Combs' house probably had a hitch. Did you get jeans? Check this out. Here we go.
She don't need no mansion high on a hill. She makes a trailer feel like a dream that's real. If her house has a hitch, I'm probably in. Rocking on the porch with a cheap beer grin. She's got a love that don't fade, don't rust, don't bend. Yeah, if her house has a hitch, I'm probably in.
I cracked myself up. That's hilarious. I don't know why I cracked myself up so much. And then this was my little AI little trip I went on. When Culo con Caca came out, I made Dingle con Berries.
Dingle con berries, I thought that I wiped. Taking off my drawers, I was hella surprised. Dingle con berries, like grapes on a vine. I think that it's time that I shave my behind. Mommy dice que de fresh.
I'm cracking myself up over here. Those are some AI things I did a while back when I was bored. If her house has a hitch, I'm probably in and Dingle going berries. Oh yeah. Okay, we know. So anyway, some of my favorites right there, but okay. Nico and Cheyenne, I've been loving theirs. You know what's hilarious is that I feel like everybody has a catchphrase or something that they stick onto that is like their thing, right? So I remember you knew send that Dingo con berries to Covino. If you I lost my thought, Joey. Thank you, Joey. Thank you for interacting. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, so everybody has their thing. So like my grandfather, I remember he never cussed. He was straight edge. Just, old school Mexican man, worked. And Luis could even tell you, if he's still right here in the chat, that he'd go by my pad and see my grandpa out there smoking his cigarette and drinking his beer. Every night, he had retired. He had worked or whatever, obviously. And he had worked, he would go every night. He'd have like 2 Oli Golds and like a cigarette. And that was and it's funny because Luis knew when he went by the pad, my grandpa would be out there just like always sitting right there on his bench right there. And anyway, long story short, his thing, you knew he was pissed when he would say, "God damn it." You were like, "Oh, somebody in trouble," right? And I feel like everybody has their thing that's how, like, they're pissed. That's how I know what my thing is because it happened to me the other day. I don't know why in my mind this cuts so deep. I don't know if I was in like 2nd grade and I heard it or something and I was like, damn. Like, I remember my friend Joseph was the first person I ever heard say the word ass cheeks. He said he was gonna something about ass cheeks, laughed his ass cheeks or something. He said ass cheeks. And I remember I go, this is the funniest thing I ever heard in my life. So my thing is, like, if I'm hella pissed, I'll say eat shit. I had to write it down. Eat shit is my thing. Is if, well, you know what? They said this and this. Well, you know what they can do? They can eat shit. I don't know why. I don't know why the eat shit to me hits so hard. But that's like, and I know because it's always, the only reason I know is because the last time I was super pissed, I was like, well, then eat shit. Oh, I was telling my daughter, I just told my daughter the other day, how I feel like we're all grown, but we all still feel like a teenager in a way, right? And hard to imagine you mad, Andrew says. Oh, I get mad. But, what was my thought? What was I gonna say? Okay, eat shit. Damn, what was I gonna say? Oh, I had a thought. Okay. Oh, that's what I talked to my daughter the other day. He wanted to beat me at bully. I told my daughter the other day, I was like, the first time I ever felt like a grown-up? And she was like, when? I was like, the first time I ever felt like a grown-up is when I got into a fight with my lady one day. And you're all pissed and you storm out of the house, right? And I remember this was the day where I was like, as soon as I slammed the door and walked out of the house, I was like, looked up at heaven, talked to my dad. I was like, Dad, I'm a grown up. Because I remember being so pissed, right about to walk out of the house and say, you know what? And why don't you do some damn dishes? Boom! Slam the door. Ta-da! Man moment, right? You look at something that's dirty in the house that you could yell at. You were like, and you know what? Pick up these damn clothes. Just walk out of the door. That's when you know you're a man. I don't care how old you are. If you've never done that, you're not a grown-up. I remember walking. And you know what? Do the damn, would it kill you to do a fucking dish? Slam. Walked outside. Talked to my dad. Dad, did you see that? I'm a grown-up. Your baby boy just did it. I was probably saying outside of my house, I'm a grown-up. My lady like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I'm really a grown-up. Start crying out, thinking of my dad. I'm a grown-up. I can't believe it. So that was the first time I ever felt like a real grown-sized man, even though I was gigantic when I was like 2. So should we get into some Covino and Rich? What does Covino and Rich have to say? Let's see.
Really good, well-known people in our league.
All right, let's see. This is that love her daddy or whatever shit.
Pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league,
Yeah.
or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as fuck.
And you know what? Hey,
I gotta agree. You know, I don't know. Obviously, they're talking about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. If you're not saying she's the face of it, then you're just hating. I mean, because even if you don't like her as a player, even if she's everything, right? Angel Reese, cool, right? The Sophie Cunningham, dope, cool, right? The one that I'm pretty sure is a dude that was locked up overseas, plays for the Mercury or got traded recently or whatever. Luis Cortez Jr. is here. You know what, Luis? I had a dream about you last night. I can't remember what it was. Damn it, what was it? I just remembered when I saw your name. She's been hurt most of the season, though. She you know what, Andrew? She has been hurt most of the season, but there's still people. This is beyond me. There's still people that are buying tickets to go see her sit on the bench. There was some people I remember I saw. I don't know if it came across my TikTok or what, but they were stoked because they were going to go to this Fever game. Oh, no, it was a friend of mine from high school. She was going, and she was like, I get to go see blah, 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 whatever. She was on the bench, but she was still hella stoked. Luis Cortez Jr. says, no manches, way were my clothes on? They were in this dream, okay? I forget. Oh, I know what it was. Boom. It was actually a Covino and Rich dream. So thank you, Luis, for joining, because I just remembered this dream. So I had this dream. Talk about a corny-ass dream. You know, the boys like to make fun of my music and the corny-ass music that I like, but talk about a corny-ass dream. I felt lame dreaming this. You know, I was in my dream going, dog, this is swag, right? I was going, you need to have cooler dreams than this, right? You should be like making out with the supermodel or something. But you know what I was doing in my dream? You want to know? You dream about vatos. Okay, Joey, you want to know even more how even weaker this is? And you know what? I'm being vulnerable right now because I couldn't sit here and lie and act like I had a cool ass dream. Yeah, I had a dream, you know, and I was, you know, I beat up 12 dudes at one time, right? Which one of y'all kick me, right? Chris Tucker style. But nah, I'm being real. So I had a dream that I was at a hotel for a pageant, right? And so for some reason Covino was there. And he was on, I don't know why, the 11th floor kept coming into my head. The 11th floor. Tell me what happens. You know what? I'm going to start another podcast. I'm going to call it the 11th floor. Because I don't even know what the hell that means. The 11th floor. But in my dream, you know, my daughter's telling me, she's like, hey, freaking these two sisters are here that win everything and this and this. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, yeah, blah, 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 whatever. So Covino calls me and he's like, hey, you're at the hotel or whatever. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, hey, well, let's kick it or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. You know, you're going to be here for a minute. I was like, cool. So I'm like, all right, got to get my daughter settled, whatever. Go get up to the room, get my daughter settled. My wife's cool, sewing or whatever the hell you do at pageants and shit while you're backstage and all, whatever. So I was like, so I'm over there, you know, doing whatever. And I'm like, all right, when I'm done with this, I'm going to hit up Covino. And then so I go to get in the elevator. And then the elevator's like going down. But I was like, wait, I got to go to the 11th floor. And I was like, I can't get in that one. All right, cool. Got to wait for the next one. Get in another one. And, oh, there was actually a couple of the girls from that building the band walk into the elevator. And I was like, hey, But you know, I realize I'm a big ass dude, right? And I can get creepy very easily. So I'm just like, hey, big fan. Purely platonic, right? But I was just like, oh, that was cool. I don't even think I said anything to them. But just because I was like, oh, that's those chicks. That's cool. Whatever. Go, get out, and whatever. So I'm walking through like the casino or whatever, right? And I'm going through, and I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to hit up Covino, and I look at the time, and I'm like, damn, this fool called me at 9:40. It was already after midnight, or it was like 11 something, almost midnight. So I'm going to, I can't get to the 11th floor to go pick this fool up so we can go whatever, go kick it or whatever, go have dinner or whatever. I'm stressing out. And then I see, oh, this is where Luis Cortez Jr. comes into it. So then I see Luis Cortez Jr. and he's like, hey, what's up? And I was like, oh, dog, I can't believe it's already been like a couple of months since the CRC, right? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, hey, he was like, so Luis was like, hey, I'm going to go with Spot. And I was like, what? And then he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm going to go, you know, we're going to switch. And I go, what? He's like, yeah, you know, I'm getting Kristen. He's going to get my lady. And then I was like, what? And I meet his lady or whatever. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you, I guess, or whatever. And then I was like, wait, I remember Spot saying something the other day on the show about, oh yeah, like Luis Cortez Jr. said something in the chat. And then Spot was like, don't tempt me with the good time or whatever. And I was like, oh shit, that really did. Oh, damn. And then Luis bounces. And then the story goes on and on to where I couldn't find Covino. And then I was just like, had to throw in the towel and be like, oh, I guess we can't kick it, you know? So long story short, that was my dream. And Luis just reminded me. With Tortas, no. With Kristen. Damn. Is this when you all got in the hot tub? No. No hot tub. No nothing. Saw Luis. I don't know why was Luis Cortez Jr. and Spot? Why were they there? Maybe it was an event or something. I don't know. But right here in the chat, Joey's asking Luis if he's a torta pounder. And what does Luis Cortez Jr. say? The right answer. He said, I love all women, which I think is really cool. Above ground pool boys or above ground pool gang, homie. Hell yeah. Right? Representing right here, the after show, but later. Should we watch a couple more minutes of Overpromised? I think we only got like 2 minutes in. But I promised my daughter I'd play the game of life with her after my life. So I only got a few more minutes. I told her I'd go like an hour or whatever. We're at 50 minutes, so Keebler, I need to buy a shirt. Go find the link, fool. Go buy one. Now it's actually in other colors, so you don't have to just get it in the black. They have like a green and a red or whatever.
Yeah. I can agree with that. There are some names we're getting to know. I mean, listen, we wouldn't play our stupid, is it a Chipotle worker or WNBA player if people knew all the players on all the teams. We're learning together. But to say that Caitlin Clark isn't the face, I agree with her. You would be, quote, dumb as fuck.
Well, let's be real. Most of us started tuning in once Caitlin Clark began in the WNBA. We started talking about it only when Caitlin Clark began in the WNBA.
Not trying to sound sexist. I don't think I watched 1 minute of the WNBA until Caitlin Clark.
It's fair to say.
Began,
and that's not to say anything against Angel Reese or anybody else at all, but she is the face of the WNBA. Actually, to quote Sophie Cunningham, her teammate, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. You're done. Agree. It's
the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad.
The Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad. Now let's watch this.
Is Nazi.
Let's bet we get through 4 minutes in that time. Well, I don't know. We'll see, Andrew.
Propaganda. And it's not just a hot chick in jeans.
Often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
Ooh.
My jeans are blue.
This is, I don't know what this phenomenon is, right?
In jeans.
But
Often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
Ooh.
So when there's somebody right? Bad. A Sydney Sweeney, right? A J-Lo that's 93 years old now, still looks bomb, right? You know what you got to do? I don't know if I heard this when I was young, but this carried me all the way through life, right? You see somebody like Sydney Sweeney. I remember watching her on Euphoria, right? And them heavies, bro. She brought out them heavies, bro, as much as she could, which not mad at, right? As bad as she is, I think I could get her. And let me tell you why. Not because I have an average salary, not because I'm, fat, not because, right? Because no. I'll tell you why. Because she's got crooked eyes. Where's the... Hell yeah. She's got crooked eyes. That's all you got to do. Got a dip, homie. Thank you, Luis. I'm glad you got to hear that story about my dream, fool. Keep dreaming of me, mas puto. Joey says Euphoria was weird. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get into it. Yeah, I dug it. I thought it was cool. But anyway, what you got to do, you find the hottest chick, right? The one that you could never get, right? And you just find something about her that ain't fucking perfect. And then you fucking hang on to that. And whenever you start to doubt yourself, you just think, nah, fuck this bitch. She's got crooked eyes. What's up, baby? What's up? Why don't you give me your phone number before I don't want it anymore? Right? Then you have that confidence. You say, yeah, you just what you got to do, you got to laugh. Maybe her earlobes are crooked, right? It's a Danny Tanner reference, right? You couldn't date that chick because her earlobes were crooked, right? Maybe she's got fat feet. And you're like Sabrina Carpenter's got some cankles, right? Everybody's like, oh, damn, Sabrina Carpenter. Oh, yeah. Some people were like, oh, she's too petite. She kind of looks like a kid. And then some people are like, fuck that. She's 25, right? Whatever. Me, I'm like, I don't care if she's bad. She's not bad, whatever. That bitch got cankles. I could get her.
Are you ready?
Right? Sabrina Carpenter. Bitch walking around here with her fucking fat ass ankles trying to tell me, doesn't want me? Shit. Maybe I don't like fat ass ankles. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to do. And it's not, you don't tell these women that. You don't degrade them. You don't be a POS. You do it internally so you can build up your confidence to go and hit up that chick and be like, what's up, baby? Right? What's cracking, right? Talk to them like the dude in the Boyz II Men song. That's like, baby, I know that you've been hurting. And right now you feel like you can never love again. I say Boyz II Men, and I start doing Kevin from Backstreet Boys, and I'll never break your heart. But no, that's what you got to do. I'm just giving you single vatos out there some tips to build yourself up. You got to build yourself up, right? They're trying to break you down, and by there I mean society. Society's telling you, dog, come on now, pinche lonjas and shit. You walking around, you can't. Bull, cankles, crooked eyes, crooked earlobes. I got this, dog. Now let's see a couple more seconds of this before I gotta go.
My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keens.
If you, feel that she's a Nazi, you're dumb AF. Sydney Sweeney is hot, not a Nazi. No. If you disagree, you're a dumbass.
And by the way, why could we not agree that she has nice jeans on? But she also does have good genetics. Look at her; she's hot. All of a sudden, we're like allergic to like good-looking people.
Okay,
and it's bothersome to me. It's
double D chromosomes.
It's it's bothersome to me that all of a sudden we're allergic to good-looking women. And this is
I think Rich is wrong. We're allergic to good-looking women. I think finally, in 2025, we're actually getting back to it's okay to like good-looking women. For so long, it was like, oh, yeah, Blizzo. Right? For so long, it was like, oh, Lori Beth Dimber. How do you guys like that reference, right? Lori Beth Dimber. Do you guys remember her? Oh, man. Let me know in the chat if you guys know, or in the comments if you're a future dude, who Lori Beth Dimber is, right? We had to be like that for so long. Now we could be like, hey, it's okay to be like Sydney Sweeney's dope, right? It's okay to be like Shakira's 47 or 50 or whatever and still looks bad. We can say that again now in 2025. So I leave you guys with this. After show, but later. I thought you were going to resurrect Tupac, says Andrew. Nah, that full call, when I was talking to you guys, he texted me and he said, hey, dog, he goes, I can't make it. And I was like, two. I call him two, right? I was like, two. And he was like, D. And I was like, 2D. That's what I'm saying, dog. We were going to have the 2D podcast. And he was like, I got a flat on the freeway. And I said, the freeway? Do you know why they call it a freeway? Because you don't pay tolls. There's no toll booth on the freeway. That's why it's free. And Tupac said, all right, dog, but I got you next time. So he might be here next week. Long story short, he might be here next week. So stay tuned, guys. If you guys aren't sub to the channel for Tupac possibly next week. After show, but later, it's your boy D, episode number 301. I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
On the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens. And come and spend a day in the 757.